Hey everyone, welcome to this in-depth episode of Eatontown Voices. I'm Ali Mehdaoui, and today we are doing a full detailed walkthrough of the December 17, 2025 council meeting. Buckle up, because we're going to cover everything, every exchange, every comment from the residents. All right, we started the meeting at 7:01 p.m. sharp. Everyone was present: Mayor Tallarico, the full council, our attorney Andrew Barr, and our administrator Lucia. We began with the Pledge of Allegiance, as always, led this time by Councilman Armand, and then moved on to approve the previous meeting's minutes and handle some routine communications. From there, we went through the agenda. We had updates on community events, emergency services, and some holiday announcements as well. Then we opened the floor to public comments, and that is when we started getting things heating up a little bit, as we were hearing from residents. For instance, David Gindi spoke passionately about how the tax assessments were pushing people out of their homes. We shared how some long-time residents were seeing 20, 30, even 40% increases, and how it felt like they were being forced out of the town they loved so much. Then Ike Segura, he got up and explained how his own taxes had doubled in just a short period, jumping from something manageable to something that was making it extremely hard for him to stay. He pointed out the unfairness and how it felt like a burden that wasn't being shared equally. Councilman Armand then spoke up strongly about the ADP program. That was the main conversation, trust me. He didn't hold back. He called it essentially a scam. On the record, he said it was causing a huge disparity in how taxes were being distributed, and argued that it was driving people out of Eatontown. He made it clear that we need to find a way to opt out of the program and come up with a fairer solution for everyone. Our attorney, Andrew Barr, well, he weighed in as well. He explained some of the legal complexities and what it might take to challenge or opt out of the program. He pointed out that some towns had been in litigation for years. You heard that right. And then we need to carefully consider our legal options and the impact on residents. And now, let's dive into the detailed exchange with yours truly and Mayor Tallarico. So back in the Netflix workshop on October 22nd, I had directly asked the mayor a very straight up question. Are you as certain, actually, are you as confident that our taxes will not go up with the pilot program? And his answer at the time was a straightforward yes. Matter of fact, let me show you a clip from that meeting where I asked that question and he gave me a lengthy explanation. Mayor, if I may ask, you tend to have a lot of certainty in terms of the reward versus the risk to residents of Eatontown, whether it's the mall or Netflix. And I appreciate all the technicality, and I recognize how complex something like this could be done in such a short period of time. Even if it's 2 years, it's very, very short to discuss $1 billion studio and all that is involved. What I believe that as a resident, and many of us are wondering, can you have that same level of certainty about our taxes to at least maintain and not to increase because of the benefits? Because as a business owner myself, I've gotten a big hit over the years. As a resident, I haven't seen much of, I would say, benefits versus just lack thereof over the last couple of years. But obviously, to respect, there was COVID issues, there was inflation issues, and a lot more. This sounds like a great opportunity for Eatontown from what I'm hearing. How can we know as residents that that opportunity is going to at least protect us from having to worry? Because just about 2 weeks ago, I've done an event and I had 30 people in front of us, and I simply asked, how many in here have had their taxes increased? And 90% of the room has raised their hands up, which I appreciate. So I'm wondering, can we have that same level of certainty that this is a good deal for Eatontown that it is in terms of residents and their taxes, property tax, and of course, I understand there's a whole different body when it comes to educational, Board of Education. How does it increase? And can you give us a level of certainty on that as well?
Sure. So number one, thank you. And there are services that come with certain developments. So we know that if it were a housing development unit, they bring with the need for services. We have to provide trash collection, or we have to pay them to do it. There are school children to educate. In this instance here, we are receiving the benefit in not having to provide those services. So with regard to fire protection, I know there are people that have some questions about that. No decisions have been made on fire protection, but the council has already said we're not subsidizing any purchases for that. With regard to EMS, while I'm sure it's hard to get to that in the benefits agreement, EMS, Netflix has already agreed as it relates to Eatontown and Oceanport to use the county system. So what you hear when there's a new development in town, hey, it's going to be a drain on our volunteers. We've already addressed that quite clearly. With regard to the police, yes, I'm sure there's going to be some increased police needs and calls, but I think that's going to be like Fort Knox over there, and I feel it's going to be a very secure facility. And in terms of types of projects where we have to hire new police officers, a lot less than other types of projects. There's that side. In terms of educating the children, there are no children in that school, no children in the school system from that project. There's no affordable housing associated with this project. There's no housing associated with this project. This separate thing, in and of itself, will produce revenue that doesn't have a drain or a cost associated with it that other developments have. I don't know how to, nor does anyone know how to quantify that specifically, but there is a plus in that, number one.
Now that you've seen that part, let me show you another clip where I reframed my question from certain to confident.
I was looking for you at my town hall. I was sitting in Bella looking at your building.
I think let's have a one-on-one or a public hearing. I'm open for it. But just to follow up, so does that mean that you are confident? I won't use the word certainty because there is no such thing, right? You are confident that the pilot program is going to create a better quality of life for families with children like myself, and at the same exact time, somewhat of confidence level when it comes to everyday individual people's taxes.
Yes.
When it comes to everyday individual people's taxes.
Yes.
Individual people's taxes.
Yes.
Individual people's taxes.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Since he said he wouldn't use the word certain, I asked if he was confident, as you saw, and again he said yes. But here's where things got a little heated. After that, I asked the mayor directly, and forgive me for being blunt. Did you know that the taxes were going up when I asked you back in October? Because when your own party's Councilman Armand had mentioned he was knocking on doors for his reelection, telling you that everyone's taxes were going up 20, 30, and 40%, you nodded yes. And Mr. Gindi told you he had multiple conversations with you about how taxes would continue to rise over the next few years and could potentially double. Again, you nodded yes. So my question, Mr. Tallarico, our beloved mayor, did you know or not know, or were you just scoring some political points? And oh boy, that's when things really got fiery. Matter of fact, Councilwoman Faust, which I didn't ask, jumped in speaking over me, and I had to say, thank you, Councilwoman, but you don't have to speak for the mayor. And the mayor then, well, he jumped on right on it. And he said she wasn't speaking for him and took a bit of a cheap shot at me, suggesting I had an emotional investment in a Republican council member, Escalante. But the truth is, I'm a resident. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a business owner in Eatontown. And I'm just asking fair questions about what affects us all, especially if you said something before the elections and now. I also asked about the sewer costs going up again this year. That's 2 years in a row. The mayor said he and I had discussed it privately and that he was on it. But in reality, the only thing he told me was that he would post about it on his personal Facebook profile, which he didn't until December 18, addressing the ADP program, but nothing yet about the sewer updates. So when residents are frustrated, they're not asking you for a favor. They're asking reasonable questions about real issues like inflation, rising costs, taxes that actually keep on climbing. And respectfully, if the mayor does not like the hard questions, respectfully, I'm still going to show up and I'm still going to ask them all the time, because that is what we deserve as a community. And with all that being said, let's end on a positive note, shall we? Santa Claus is here. At the end of the day, this is all about our community, about making sure Eatontown stays strong, united, and focused on doing the right thing. It's not about Republicans or Democrats or independents. It's about all of us asking the tough questions and working together to find the solutions. When we come together as a community, we can tackle any challenge that comes our way. So thank you for being engaged. Thank you for caring. And remember, Eatontown is stronger when we work together, not when we take cheap shots. I'll see you next time on Eatontown Voices. Happy holidays.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.